All right, guys, welcome to my channel. Now, I'll be taking another aspect of government. Since I have analyzed introduction to government, we are done with that part. Now, the next part under your foundation government is what we call the basic concept of government. Basic concept of government. This part is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Basic concept of government. And there are a lot of concepts you need to know. Not be one, not be two, not be three, not be 10, not be 15. They are much. But I will give you guys shortcut. That is why this channel is called Government Made Easy by the Socialists. So you must always subscribe, like, and share. Very important. Watch your videos to the end. Always watch it to the end. Not watch half, leave half for me. No, watch it to the end to get all information. You get why? Now, under your basic concepts in government, we are going to talk about the guy we call states, nation, nation state, and society. What is the difference between a state and a nation, nation and nation state, and society? Oh yeah, observe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, see, mo na come time no dey mo no waste time. A state can be defined as a political or geographical entity occupied by people who are binded with a legitimate government and sovereignty. A state can be defined as a political or geographical entity occupied by people who are binded by a sovereign government and sovereignty. Oh yeah, wait. Let me show you another thing again. A state can also be defined as a group of people living in a particular geographical territory. A state can also be defined as a group of people living in a particular geographical territory with the presence of sovereignty. It means that in a state, sovereignty exists, is very important. So whenever I hear the guy state, my mind will not know say a state. State get different definition, but I'm trying to give you easy definition that will help you. So we can say that a state can be defined as a political or geographical entity occupied by people who are binded by law. It's also another definition. We can also say that a state can be defined as a geographical entity occupied by people with a sovereign government or a legitimate government. Now, another way your examiner can also throw you off balance, they will ask you an area occupied by people who are living in a particular geographical territory with the presence of sovereignty. What is it called? It is called a state. But when you observe, wetin call be nation? A nation can be defined as an homogeneous group of people living in a particular geographical territory with government but lack sovereignty. Make I show you something for here. State get sovereignty, state get government, state get territory. Nation get territory. Nation get government. But bros, nation lacks sovereignty. Observe. See am, e no go easy but we go knack am small, na small. Class, make I knack am again for you. Who be dis guy? Shebi na state abi? Oya keep am. Who be dis guy? Shebi na nation abi? Oya keep am. I said a state can be defined as an area occupied by people living in a particular geographical territory. And these people, they still get government and they also have the presence of sovereignty. But the difference between a state and a nation is that a nation, ladies and gentlemen, is an homogeneous group of people. A nation is an homogeneous group of people living or residing in a particular geographical territory with government but lack sovereignty. You dey get am so? So the both of them have similar definition, but no be say na similar definition like that, but e get wetin one get, one no get. A nation has territory, a nation has government, but a nation lacks sovereignty. A state has government, a state has territory, but a state also have sovereignty. So if you observe these three guys for here now, you see and say state get sovereignty, state get government, state get territory. But the only thing nation not get when nation lack now waiting na sovereignty. The right of a state to make and enforce law, not the sovereignty. The supreme power of a state to make and enforce law without any interference is called sovereignty. So a nation lacks sovereignty, but a nation has territory. Whenever you hear the word territory, when we say territory, geographical territory, what do we mean? We are talking about location where a state resides. Is the location of a particular area. The location of a particular area, that's what we call territory. So keep on, observe, watch your video very, very well, and you are jotting. Not just the look and not be normal TikTok. Oh. This is an academic channel where you take your time to study very, very well. You get why? Not Russian. Dilute and small. Oh yes, Siam. Having said state and nation, now let's go to nation state. Please, in case you are missing it, I beg. A state is an area occupied by people living in a geographical territory, living in a particular geographical territory with government and sovereignty. But a nation is an homogeneous or an area occupied by people residing in a particular geographical territory with government but lacks within our sovereignty. I can't tell you say wetin be the sovereignty. Sovereignty is the absolute power of a state to make and enforce law without any within our interference. You feel me so? Oya, more will not the next guy. I believe I've said enough here. Now, more will not the next guy called nation state. Many of us don't hear the word nation state. You go ask yourself, wetin could be nation state? You know, a nation state actually consists of the attribute of a state and a nation. Now they form nation states. The guy we call nation state actually consists of the attribute of a state and the attribute of a nation. In other words, class, observe, make I show you now. Whenever you hear the word nation state, a nation state is a political unit. A nation state is a political unit, yes, that combines a nation. A nation state is a political unit that combines a nation. That combine within a nation. In other words, when you say a nation, a group of people sharing common identity. So a nation state actually has the attribute of a state and the attribute of a nation. Neither they form nation state. So whenever you hear the word nation state, a nation state is a political unit. It is a political unit that has or share common identity. So of a nation, this nation now, a nation state actually share common identity. Now, which also share the attribute of a state. And when you say a state is a sovereign. A state is a sovereign government with a defined territory and sovereignty. So when I see nation state, I will not say a nation state is a political unit. Is a political unit that combines a nation. It combines a nation and a state. So when you say it combines a nation, you are trying to say that it shares common within an identity. A nation share common identity. Why a state here? A state is a sovereign government with a territory and also the presence of sovereignty. You see, so you have your state, we have your nation. So in other words, you can see a question like this, class. Which of the following has the attribute of a state and a nation? The answer to that question is what? Nation state. So a nation state actually has the attribute of a nation and the attribute of a state. That makes they call that within a nation state. So it's a political unit that combines a nation. And a nation here is a group of people sharing a common within an identity. So a nation is a group of people sharing a common identity with a state. Why a state is a sovereign government. A state is a sovereign government with defined territory and also with the presence of sovereignty. Oh yeah, check this guy. Who be this guy? Society. Now, when you say society, in other words, can also be seen as a group of people or a group occupied by men of different kinds. It is a group occupied by men of different kinds. Whenever you hear the word society, it's a group occupied by men of different kinds. So you see this guy now, state, nation, state, society. I also talk about sovereignty for here. What did I say about sovereignty? I said sovereignty is the rights of a state or the supreme power of a state to make and enforce law without any interference. You see, Anam? So you have to go through it. You don't rush government, or if not, you go lost. We have states, we have nation, we have nation state, we have what? Society. Then we have what? Sovereignty. Please go through everything here. Very, very important. Are we there? Are we there? All right. Thank you very, very much.